Good evening, and welcome to another episode of City of Mist, The Lost and the Forgotten. This is Crits and Die. You're hearing the voice of Mr. JP Stilts, and we are very happy to bring you another episode of our chaotic, mist-hidden, continuously concerning story. Tonight, we are going to be joined by three of our four players. We have Connor, Agnes, and Anna joining us to continue on where we had left off last week. Now, I'm very happy to have anyone out there that is currently listening. Welcome to our story, and to the three of you here hearing my voice inside your heads, welcome to you three as well. Let's talk a little bit about last week. It was pretty chaotic. We started with a trip back up north to retrieve a van that had been left, quite some time ago. Upon arriving at this van, you notice that it was being poked and prodded by a group of individuals marked with red armbands, wearing overalls, coveralls, and carrying boxes of tools. They appeared to be members of the Knights of Labor Union. Connor approached the vehicle by himself and learned that they were interested in the vehicle, intrigued by why it had been sitting in this abandoned parking lot for so long, and eventually came to a conversation about a need for a vehicle like this. They had some equipment they were trying to get down south. Unfortunately, transportation, delivery, kind of the lockdown of the city was really controlled by the Longshore Union, and they were having difficulty getting their supplies out of the northern part of the city, so they asked for Connor's help. Small box of supplies, looked it over, and it seemed to be, standard steel metalworking supplies, drill bits and saws and things of that type. No more than about 3 or 4 feet long, 2 feet deep, about 1.5, 2 feet wide. Not a super large box, but with enough stuff that it likely wouldn't fit in a standard truck or car. This individual seemed to be the leader of the place, gave you an address, a warehouse in the southeastern portion of Independence, kind of down near Little Havana. Told you that if you deliver these supplies, they'll give you some payment. They'll help you get the car repaired or buy a new car. And just ask that if they ever give you a call in the future, you'll just pick up, see what they have to say, and maybe continue this potential partnership. While Connor was dealing with these individuals, the other three of you were seated in the car watching and observing, and a phone call was received. Lena picked up, and it was Angelos on the other side. It seemed there was a guest at the house. A guest from far and ancient past. A man named Blair Maltby, the ex-husband of Ana Reagan. This instilled a dread, a concern, a dangerous mindset. Not knowing exactly why he was there, you raced to get back home. Upon arriving back at this place, you immediately noticed that the house didn't appear the way it should have. It looked fake, like the set of a movie. Angelos and Brittany had sat on the porch and were drinking tea while the children played like normal outside, and amongst all of that, This white-haired man, this Blair, sat conversing and smiling at the scene in front of him. Anna, or Max, at the time wanted him gone. And with the help of her crew, you all jumped in. Connor flew straight up the side of the wall, getting close to this man. Max transformed into a raven, preparing for an attack, and Agnes and Lena attempted to gather the children and get them inside. But things quickly fell apart. The children began to target that large, scary bird. The bird was stopped short, and Anna herself was forced to sit in the seat beside Blair. And Connor was stopped in his tracks by aged wisdom that this is not the time to fight. And this man, this stranger, finally held your ears. He had pictures from the church, from the morgue, and a case file for each of you, clearly from the nurses. Your impact on the mist has caused them to have a grave concern, putting you as a high priority, a focus for their current task. And he was here to warn you, and in a way, beg that you stop before things get worse than they already were. Having said what he needed to say, he left and the crew separated. Connor, Agnes, and Ake went to the gym, where the emotions of the event brought a rage inside Connor that he just had to release. Connor, you learned a lesson in that gym. Your rage turns you into this dark, monstrous, destructive creature. And you found that only the looks, the fear within your friend's eyes could calm you down. Anna, you went to the altar, and you found that this house still held more connections to the family that had owned it previously than just the man that had recently departed your steps. You heard the voices of Blair's parents, chanting, praying, speaking to the altar. When you entered the room, you expected to find them there, but the room was empty. And instead, you found the room to feel barren, dry, and desolate. There was a weakness in this building, a weakness that had not been felt ever before. And feeling that weakness, you decided you had to give a part of yourself far grander than you had before. Blair's parents gave you some wisdom. This house, the protection it offers, it needs sacrifice, not just of prayers and rituals, but often parts the power within the souls of those that live within. And so you did the one thing you had been asked not to do. You cleared the mist. The house creaked and groaned, and a warm wind rose from the basement up to the roof. The sound of animal cries, bird chirps, and the sounds of a rainforest briefly filled the hallway. And we find that the house itself has somewhat changed. Entering into the entry, we see dark, cat-like shapes prowling the corners of the room and fading behind the furniture. In the kitchen, the sounds of dishes clatter and cabinets shut and open, but when viewed, it's completely empty. Heading downstairs, we can see into the gym. 3 members of the crew are within, one of them wearing a shredded and torn collage of clothing, and the tattered remnants of a gym bag lay on the floor behind. Across the hall, a group of children huddle around Daniel and Angelos while Daniel tells a story. And next door to that, the subtle voices of Hilda and 3 other children dissecting the events of the hour. Heading down to floor 3, you can feel the humidity, as if the temp of the pool has been turned up. Most of the doors have closed, but passing by Rebecca's, you can see Brittany sits on her bed, her arm wrapped around her and speaking quietly, soothing. Continuing down the hallway, we can see Lena patrolling, looking into each room, making sure everyone's where they're supposed to be. Courage, vigor, strength, and protection are all powerful feelings now on floor 3, but something to keep an eye on. Connor, the monster has been released. You find your shirt to be torn to scraps, your leggings ripped at the seams. The faces of your friends stare back to you in fear. Ake has a brief glance at this man he has seen as a protector, as a friend, but now the day's events had caused far too much grief and chaos. He turns and runs out of the room. You hear the sound of the library door slamming shut, leaving only you and Agnes in this place. The feeling of the house has changed. And even here on the 2nd story, you quickly feel those feelings of anger, rage, fear, and concern begin to drift away. Perhaps it's the subtle fresh smell of nature rushing into the gym, wiping away the scent of flesh and sweat, or the steady hum of conversation throughout the hallway outside, allowing you to focus on the laughter of children and the joy that brings instead of your own hearts beating and heavy breaths. Connor, how do you react to yourself in this moment, looking down and seeing that the clothes you had worn into this place have now been torn, the destruction of the bag back behind you, and the events of your allies now looking to you in fear, having fled the room?
There's like a deep sense of, I think, shame. He picks up the, ragged remains of whatever's left of his clothes, just kind of like bundles it up and just sort of hurries away.
Agnes,
Doesn't say anything.
and are you running like up to the locker room or just trying to get out of the bottom floor?
Um, I'm probably not going to the locker room. No, I'm probably trying to head out.
So Agnes, you watch as Ake runs across, locking himself in the library. Connor grabs up his jacket, the remnants of his pants, and begins rushing past you. What do you do?
Ooh. If I'm sure that Oke went to the library, then I'll go after Connor.
Connor, as you're running out of the room and up the stairs, what is the most urgent thought going on in your head?
Um, the feeling that he was that close to doing something he'd never forgive himself for when that thing came out, when the darkness came out.
Mm-hmm.
So close, razor's edge.
Mm-hmm. As
So
you
I think. Sorry.
no,
I was just saying.
as you begin to kind of rush out of this the room, even into the gathering space as well, connected down below, you start to feel this familiar feeling, one that has been both a comfort and a cause for concern of you in the past. That almost smothering hug. The humidity that's rising up these steps begins to lick at you, much like the sweat had before, but as it does, you feel almost something trying to get you to stay back. Like your body is starting to slow down, not like you're forming cramps, but you definitely feel like there is something trying to slow you down. Agnes, if you get out, you can actually watch him on the stairs as there's just this very subtle thing as he gets to that space right in the stairway and starts making his way up the stairs. It just slows down ever so slightly.
Oh. Yeah, this is weird. um, she'll probably call out to Connor, just like, if anything, to get his attention too. It's like, Connor, wait. Like, this is something's weird right now. More than usual. Like,
Yeah, I think Connor will probably stop there, shaking a little bit, maybe.
do you feel that? Did you was that just me, or did something just happen right now?
I mean, yeah, something happened. But if you mean about this place, I guess.
Look, I don't know what happened to you or what that was, but I think there's something a little bit more pressing right now. There's something not great about this place.
Are you guys like standing up on the steps, or are you down like at the base of the stairs?
I mean, he would have stopped as soon as she called out. So wherever that would have been.
Wherever the feeling was
So
strongest, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it definitely, the moment he entered into like the stairwell, that's when it had that feeling. Just again, something kind of trying to get you to slow down, to calm. As you both stand there for a moment, you hear what sounds like mice, and you might kind of shudder going back to your times of the sewer, but you hear the children laughing at these squeaks, and it's followed by the sound of a cat. It rounds, and you hear like this little bell around it, and the kids are laughing and laughing, and you hear all this thing going on in the room, and then in a flash you watch as this bright orange cat runs out of the hallway, takes maybe 4 or 5 steps, and then poof, disappears.
What the hell was that?
It, was it a cat?
Yeah. Um.
do we see the kids running after them now, or?
No, you hear like it almost seems like the story's continuing. You don't hear anyone running after. You hear Daniel's voice again, and yeah, he's talking about 3 brave mice, and now he's kind of bringing up the last parts of the story. You see, children, if those mice had not been brave, that one brave mice to take the bell and attach it to the cat's neck, things would not have changed and they would not have been able to have been safe. So think on that. Which of you are going to be that brave mouse to protect their friends, to face our fears? And who's going to be the cat? And who's going to be the mouse that simply sits and continues to do as they do, hiding in their holes, in their rooms, afraid of their own shadow? He's pulled them back in for like the closing of the story. So it seems like that was just something that wasn't supposed to happen, or something only you two seem to notice.
Okay, and we heard that? The story?
Well, you're hearing the last part of it now that it's brought your
Okay.
attention. Yeah.
You don't think that's the literal cat he's talking about, right?
Would it be the weirdest thing that's happened?
I guess not.
Agnes, you'll remember back to a little while ago when you had visited a girl in her room named Rebecca. And you had walked in just as Daniel was giving another story. And you remember at that time there were like figures, like shadows dancing upon the wall. And it seemed to go along with the story, but it was fairly minor. But that was also on the 3rd floor, where things are a little more accessible down there. You always feel a bit more connected to the mystical part of yourself, your soul down there. Up here, floor 2, this is supposed to be the floor of the sleepers, the children that are just not aware of the mystical things of this house or of the people that are within it. Something's definitely changed.
I want to go upstairs. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So you both begin to make your way upstairs. You get to the hallway that leads to the little door. Kind of allows you out into the main area. And you can hear the sounds of people working in the kitchen. You hear things being cut and cabinets opening and closing, the sounds of dishes kind of being stacked and water being ran. As you get to the door and you open it, you can see into the kitchen and the room falls silent, but you can see that there is a meal about 75% prepared.
Okay. And there's nobody in here?
There's nobody in the kitchen, no.
Alright. I want to say Agnes is in like kind of a not great spot right now. things are catching up to her, and she's realizing that she's not waking up from this weird ass dream. um, I gotta get out. I gotta get out. She starts muttering, and she
Yeah.
just beelines for the front door. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
So as you both go charging into the front room, you begin making your way through the hallway towards the entry. As you take your first step into the entry, you hear the yowl, the cry of a cat, a large cat, a deep guttural growl within the room. And you both stop for a moment as you watch off the corner of your eye, and you see movement back behind the bookshelf in the small little entryway seating area across the wall. This dark shadow shape of a jaguar begins to prowl along the edge, stopping right at the edge of the doorway. You watch as its head turns. Again, it's all faded darkness. What do you both do?
Jesus Christ. All right. Connor's gonna square up. I'll distract the fucking thing, and then you get out of here, all right?
I can't leave you here. It's not real, is it? Right? It can't be real.
I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's not these days.
As you stare at this thing and it looks back to you, Connor, you feel something press up against your leg. And you look down as one of these dark, black, furred cats has appeared to come real. Rubs as a cat does, its back arching high on the side of your leg, purring loudly. The other one steps forward out of the wall. Tail drops down, and it starts walking, kind of swaying playfully towards you, Agnes. The room fills with the sound of deep purrs from these creatures, and it begins to wrap itself kind of up around your leg, just beginning to circle you, Connor.
Hello there. That's all I can really say right now.
Oh, you just came out of the wall and started rubbing yourself.
You look down, and the jaguar just flops kind of down across your feet, kind of its tummy up and one of the legs back, just looking up you, and you can see these very like beautiful gray eyes just looking back at you. Paws come up, no claws in it, just kind of pat at some of the tassels at the bottom of your shirt, just laying there right in front of you, just right on your toes. The other one comes up to you, Agnes, and does the little cat's like downward dog kind of right in front of you, rubbing its back right up against your legs again, the deep purr, and it starts doing the same thing, kind of circling you for a moment.
Oh, it's not real, is it? She's gonna edge away from it and try to get to the door as carefully as she can.
Okay. You just slowly start moving, kind of tiptoeing forward. It comes around and tries to get kind of in position that you have to maneuver around it. So I'm going to say this is just going toe to toe to see if you can outmaneuver the cat, or if the cat's going to be able to impede your way to the entryway. Now they do have an Agile 2 status. So what tags do you want to use on this go toe to toe?
Oh, um, let's do faster than you and predict Foe's next move because
Mm-hmm.
they seem very cat-like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we'll just make such assumptions. Um, I think. Oh my god, sorry. I think it's not expanding. I mean, can I use escape from the memory? She's like literally trying to like get out, and this is like literally a weird situation of stream like as a weakness.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. Like this is something you don't want to remember. Like that, all of this, it's just a bad dream.
Yeah.
You need some semblance of real in your life, and these cats just walked out of a wall. I mean, you know cats are kind of crazy, but you've never really seen a cat do that before.
Facts. All right. Well, let's see if I trip over a cat or not.
Mm.
Guess I do.
Boy. Snake
Roll
eye.
20 strikes again.
It is back. So, as you begin, there's this moment where you kind of do a quick juke. You go to the left and then leap to the right, and begin making your way forward. But these cats, they're quick. It comes up thinking you're playing and starts to bat at your legs, and you try to dodge and get away, kind of to jump, and just as you're about to reach the doorway, you feel a hard kind of shoulder tap as the cat tumbles over itself into the back of your knees, and you find yourself flat on your back as the cat comes to a stop, resting on top of you. It just lays there for a moment, and you feel like these kind of heavy vibrations from this fairly large cat. I mean, this is probably about a 220 pound cat. It's not, doesn't have its full weight on you. It kind of has the back shoulder and its neck across you. But you definitely find yourself pinned at the moment. Connor, this cat laying at your feet, batting at the shirt. Kind of, there was a brief moment when I stopped and looked to see what Agnes is doing, but now that Agnes is on the floor, goes back to just playing with the remnants of your clothing.
I am going to slowly move over to Agnes to try to remove the cat from her.
Okay. There's again slow. You kind of have to wiggle your foot out, to try to undisturb the cat and begin to make your way over. The other cat follows, but slowly. Kind of does the. I want to go check out what's over there for a moment and make my way back to you. But as you get close to Agnes, what do you do to the cat that's on top?
How big are they?
I mean, they're the size of a jaguar. I mean, they're probably about 4 or 5 feet long, about 220 pounds.
All right.
They're decent sized creatures.
I will take some of the tattered remnants of my clothing that seem to have fascinated the one cat, and I will start playing with the other cat to get it off of Agnes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm saying these words.
The whole time Agnes is chanting, it's like, this can't be real, this can't be real, this can't be real.
Give me a convince.
Okay.
Give me a convince. What tags are you going to use for that?
That's a really good question. I don't think I have any tags for this. So I think it would just be like a straight roll, right? I mean, I guess.
I mean,
Unless
they are
could-
cats, so I'll say go ahead and get add a story tag of like cat-like reflexes. You know, that's something that they would probably want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, and let's see if this is gonna actually get them off, or just to get the other one involved.
Oh God, no! I'm gonna bury Agnes under cats.
Oh my god.
Hey, that's not bad.
Okay. So yeah, you basically get a distracted moment where Agnes, you can pull yourself free. But Connor, you start to feel something. As you play with this cat, you actually start to feel a bit of happiness, a bit of solace. You definitely feel like it's by playing with the cat that you're having this feeling, so I'm gonna ask if this is something that Connor feels like he's gonna try to avoid, in which he faces danger to avoid whatever is happening now, or if he allows it to continue.
I mean, there's no reason for him to resist having a little bit of entertainment from playing with cats. So, nah.
There's something that begins to fade from you. It's no longer that you're playing like with a jaguar, it's just that you're experiencing an animal, and this animal seems real, and your mind is really focusing on just the play-like qualities. You find yourself kind of chuckling a little under your breath as it rolls over and swipes and misses and ends up kind of tumbling on itself. You feel the gentle kind of rub of that second one as it curls around your leg, and you do take a comforted 2 status as these creatures begin to try to work and calm those feelings of fear and anger and I was so close to doing something I could never stop, by simply distracting you and giving you something else to focus on in the moment. Agnes, you start to feel a similar feeling. The anxiety, the urge to get out of this place begins to fade away as you just watch this large, dangerous creature but become very playful and almost childlike. It's the most YouTube clickbaity thing that you could expect to see. But you also do feel the influence, again, that this is something trying to get you to calm down, to hold you. And you've had this influence before, similar to what you dealt with Officer Chavi. Kind of you know that there are individuals, things that help to just bring that comfort. Is that something you would allow for yourself? Or because of your previous influences, you find yourself kind of saying, nope, I don't care. I don't want you to make me feel good. I just want to feel good on my own.
I want to say that she's like very suspicious at the moment and she just needs a little bit of clarity. And this is not it.
So go ahead, give me a face danger against a comforted 2 status. What tags are you going to use to just keep your mind your own, to really just keep things honed in?
Let's see. I will think back to why I'm even here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll reach for some buried memories of NG. And oh man, I didn't recover any sprint tags yet, did I?
Not yet. We haven't got to a point of downtime. It's been a bit chaotic.
It's been like 24 hours.
It's been just go, go, go. You need some naps.
Yeah. All right. I'll think back to that then.
Okay.
That this is face
Face
danger.
danger. Yep.
Oh.
So in
I-
that moment, as you feel that
Did that happen again?
it did,
Damn,
Yeah.
Maru, you are not having a good night. Holy shit.
Oh, it's only been 2 rolls, man.
as you reflect back onto Benji, you start to hear a song play down the hallway from the lounge. And it's one of Benji's songs. There's something real about this place. You now know that he once resided here. Perhaps your mind drifts to wondering, did he ever play with these cats? I wonder what room he stayed in. Did he have the same feelings that I do? And you find yourself bonding to him. You've now almost walked some steps in his own footsteps. And in a way that brings you a different kind of peace. But you do take the comforted 2 status as well. Now, these cats will stay for as long as you need them to, but once you have allowed yourselves to calm, to lose the pressures, to remove the burdens from your back, they will allow you to leave. So my question to both of you is, how long do you feel like you stay in this front room before you finally make your way out?
Agnes is probably gonna take a few deep breaths, close her eyes, and just kind of recenter herself.
Connor's just kind of going to be lost in the moment for a little while until he eventually realizes that he's wearing tatters where there used to be clothes, and then he gets very embarrassed.
Yeah. With that, you both step over the big cats and make your way to the door, exiting outside. It's a moment as you turn back and watch as they play with each other for a moment, kind of wrestling and tussling up until the point they get to the wall, and they both disappear as shadows back in the darkness and crevices of the front room. Outside, it feels a little different. The moment you step out of the entryway, you still feel the comfort, but you don't feel it as strong. It feels a bit more real out here. Heading over to the front way, you can see the cars haven't moved from when they originally had gotten in here. The van kind of right down at the bottom gate, the long car still seated kind of towards the edge. And as you both are kind of exiting the house and heading towards the vehicles, are you walking silently, or is there anything talking about?
I don't think Connor's much for words right now.
Yeah. Agnes probably just walks over to the van and just like slumps against it and just like sits down on the ground for a second, like, hold up, hold up.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the vehicles, you actually do notice one person outside. Appears to be a teenager, a tall guy, maybe 6'4", 6'5", good 300 pounds, built like a linebacker. Dark black hair, kind of a bit longer, pulled back behind a headband that he has wrapped around his head. And you can see he's on the phone, just kind of nodding for a moment, leaning up against the back side of the long black car. As you get close, you just hear, "Yeah, no, it's fine. No, I get it, Uncle. I'll get it done. Please, I gotta go back inside. They're waiting for me." All right. Love you too. Clicks the phone, and as he turns and sees both of you there, he kind of stops. He wasn't expecting people to be there. Definitely kind of a deer in the headlight moment.
Agnes just waves him off, like, I don't even care right now.
Oh,
Just
sorry. I know I'm supposed to be inside. I just don't get good phone service in there.
sure. She is not in a headspace to deal with this. This is like, dang, the stuff just doesn't stop coming. She just needs like a minute of silence.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a busy friggin' house. There's people everywhere.
Anna's right there with you. Like, yeah.
So, you get your way to the van, head inside. I imagine there's a few just very quiet moments where all you hear is breathing and the slight shift of keys and fabric as you try to adjust yourselves in the seat before the engine kicks off and you head to wherever you might need to go to. In the meantime, Anna, well, you have returned. For so long, you had been watching through the perspective of your younger sister, but now she is... well, she's grown. You watch the events of the church, the events at the community center, returning home to find ancient history has been dusted off and brought back to the surface. And you've just completed doing something you had said you would not do again. As you make your way out of the maintenance room and into the pool, you're a bit surprised. That same humidity that you had felt walking into this room to begin with, it hangs outside as well. So you look around.
Gun on me.
I'm sorry?
Right. I did say that I grabbed a gun, right?
Yeah.
Off the wall. Okay.
Mhm.
Just to make sure I still had it. Okay.
As you make your way to the edge of the pool, you open the doors up, expecting for there to be a release and a bit of fresh air, and you find none. The air is fresh, like nature and fresh rain, but the humidity is still dense and thick. You feel... it's not tension, but almost a veiled buzzing on this floor. Like many different people are trying to connect to themselves in many different new ways. You feel almost the electricity in the air. What do you do? Where do you head?
Is Rebecca's door still open and I can sort of hear Brittany?
Yeah, as you kind of listen in, you can hear the subtle whisper and see the the only light kind of there at the edge of that door open.
Okay, I'm gonna head there.
Heading inside, they both are facing away from you. Brittany has her arm up and just rubbing the shoulder of Rebecca, seated there on the bed in the center of the room. It's a bit strange. Normally when you visit Rebecca, there's anxiety and stress in her voice, but at this time it is more just questions. Curiosity. Brittany tries to answer the best that she can. Who was that man? He's a man from the house. The history of this house. What did he do? She doesn't really have answers for that. And Rebecca starts bringing up these times when there was the fire in Sloane and Bryce's bedroom after Rebecca had tried to connect the TV. She remembered being very angered by something they said. Is it possible she may have done something? When the milk turned sour after some of the younger kids decided to pour black paint into her laundry, was that really just a random bad grocery, or was that something she did? Brittany tries to calm and say it's been a rough day. There's been a lot of things, and these questions are good for you to ask, but these are things that you should meditate on, pray on, search within yourself to see, because your heart will know the truth. As you get to the doorway, do you enter in? Do you stay to listen? What do you do?
Tap on the door frame. Get their attention.
They both turn, and Brittany stands. Rebecca kind of flips herself around on the bed to face you. Anna. Brittany kind of walks towards the front of the room. Are you okay?
I've been much better. But I don't think anyone's really okay tonight. Rebecca dear, how you doing?
Rebecca looks to you, gives you a slight smile. I'm doing okay. It was kind of nice being outside for a bit. Yeah, no, I think I'm actually doing okay.
I'm glad. Brittany, if you could do something for me, dear. Rebecca, I'm gonna come back and talk to you in just a moment. I'm gonna borrow Brittany. And I want to pull Brittany into the hallway and close the door behind her. Brittany, I want you to gather all the older kids, especially the ones who've been here for a few years. I want you to bring them to the chapel room. Make sure Lena and Angie are there as well.
What's going on, Anna?
what's going on is that that man has only gotten more dangerous in the last 30 years. And for all that he came here to warn us, he was also threatening us. And I want the older kids to know what this house is, and I want them to choose whether or not they want to help keep it alive the way we do. I want to tell them everything I know so that they can help protect the younger ones should he come back. Also
I
say hello to
feel-
my cat, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, cat.
That's Donna. She's loud.
They're real.
Yeah.
Oh God. The borders of fantasy and reality are blending.
Of course, I will gather these children. Anna, you must know there's something happening. I feel the eternal flame growing in this house, and it's beginning to surround the children on floor 2.
I know.
Is this to be expected?
Not expected, but I did do it.
Is there anything I should be prepared for?
We don't know what those kids are gonna wake up to be, so anything. And the house is gonna be a little overexcited the next few days, I think, with all of them exploring their powers a bit. But for now, I want the older kids there so we can talk so that.
Okay. I think Lena is still down here. I'll have her and help her gather those that have a bit more time and experience. How soon do you need them in there?
10 minutes or so. Just get everyone down there.
All right.
And I'm gonna go into Rebecca's room.
You see she's
Hello,
pulled
dear.
out a journal. She's flipping through some of the earlier pages and kind of stops for a moment and goes off to ponder. And as you come in, you hear the book slam shut. Oh, hi, Anna.
Oh dear. You had a big day.
It sounds like we all did. That was pretty crazy.
Understatement of the year, darling.
Hmm.
I know, Marco. Go outside of my office. So, you had some questions for Brittany, I heard. Is there anything I can answer for you?
Anna, and all the time that I've been here, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened around me, and you've always been really good calming me down. You know, accidents happen and it'll be okay and all that. Is it possible that it's not just accidents?
It is. Does that scare you?
I guess it makes me a little sad. I never want to be a bully. You know, it's been hard. But
Do you think you've acted like a bully?
I mean, I don't know. These things that
Did
have
you do
happened
anything on purpose?
I never thought about doing something and did it, but there's been times that I've been really mad or just angry, and bad things have happened around me. And like I know why you have me on floor 3, and I know I'm not like Castle. I can't swing a sword, and I'm not like Kaylin. I mean, she's really smart, and Anna, she has all that chemistry stuff that she does. But I feel like I might have something too. I don't know what it is.
Well, to be honest with you, dear, the man who was here, who called you up onto the balcony, you know that was me down there, that changed into the bird and tried to get in between you, and I did it, dear, because I was scared for you. Because you do have something in you. And until now, we haven't really gotten a chance to figure out what it is to teach you to control it. But that man, everything he is, cancels out everything special about you. Takes away everything that makes you who you are and leaves a shell. An automaton that just pretends at being alive.
You can
You do
see her
have something
face
special.
kind of struggles a little bit with that.
I know everybody up there seemed happy and they were playing and having a good time, but did you feel right? Or did
I
it
don't
feel
know
like
what.
something had been taken from you?
I've always felt like there was something following me, dark cloud, or just bad luck. And for once it was kind of nice. I didn't feel like that anymore. I got to play with the kids and not worry about popping a ball or breaking something, and we were having fun. I won't lie, it did kind of feel good.
I know, dear. But did it feel like something was taken from you?
I guess, but just the dark cloud, the bad stuff, I guess.
That's all right. You're all right to feel this way. It's confusing, and I want you to know, dear, that whatever it is you can do, that man works for people who will lock you away and take everything from you that makes you Rebecca, makes you the girl we love. So whatever that feeling was that took the black cloud away from you, maybe we can teach you to control it. Maybe we can teach you to use it. Because I don't want you to feel like you have to be asleep to be what other people want of you. I don't want you to be anyone other than who you are right now. I love you as you are. And if you choose to give up your power, I'll help you. But I'd like for you to come with me and the others into the heart of the house and see if the house can't help you, if we can't help you explore this a bit more. Does that sound all right to you, dear?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll be there for you, Anna.
Oh dear. Well, I'm glad you had fun today. I am. I just the other kids, they can be cruel when they don't understand something. And I don't want you to ever feel like the rest of the world will be that way. I want you to know that you can be yourself, okay?
Okay. I
I'm gonna
will.
walk up and give her a big hug and a kiss on the head.
She actually squeezes back kind of stronger than she has before.
Oh, goody.
You feel, yeah, you definitely feel like she's started to crack that shell that she had around her, but it's still hesitant.
Quick question. You said 3 names. Kaylin, Anna, I missed the first one.
Oh yeah, yep. So if you would like, I've made this easy for you.
You have, because I gave you 29 children and didn't name any of them.
So if you look at your sanctuary handout and you scroll down, I have added all of the names of children. Some.
Oh, you imported my notes. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Okay,
So, yeah.
you said.
So we have basically, if you go to the very bottom, so those are the key ones that she indicated. You have Kaylin, who she said was very smart.
Yeah.
Anna, who had all of her chemistry stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Castle is very strong and with the sword. And then she had mentioned 2 children, Sloane and Bryce.
Yeah.
Who are also on the 3rd floor, but they're some of the younger children.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sweet. All right. Cool. I'm so happy. Okay.
And they actually, for the ones that are labeled there, they have their own little images and everything.
Do they?
So if you click on them, you should be able to see their faces. And I think everyone but Brian. Let's see, I haven't done Brian's yet. Come on, Brian. Let's get you in there. There you go.
It's a good pull for Castle. I love it. Okay, cool. That's a flashback.
Yeah. I was like, nope, that fits. He's not Fergie, but you know, it'll work.
I love it. All right, cool. I'm gonna. It's not been quite 10 minutes yet, so I'm gonna go upstairs and see if I can't find Connor and Agnes and Oke.
Okay.
Because I knew they were on the 2nd floor because I came down with Connor, so I know he went straight to the gym.
You head up to the 2nd floor, and as you exit, you can see the gymnasium doors are open. Kind of look inside, and you can see there's one gym bag that's just been completely destroyed, and then another one that's kind of hanging a bit well beaten. Yeah, there definitely seems to somebody just went ham on it.
Yeah, it's pretty much destroyed.
Sand everywhere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You killed a heavy bag.
Yep.
Right.
But you do hear voices coming from the rooms across the way. Yeah, you hear Daniel kind of talking. You can actually look through his door. You can see there's about 5 of the smaller, younger children sitting around his bed. He's sitting there with one of his picture books and telling them another story.
Mm-hmm.
As you take the time to watch, you notice every once in a while the images on the page will just burst into color and animation. And the kids all peer in closer like they're watching a TV screen, not really knowing what's happening, but just pulled into the story. And when he speaks, the voices are coming from the characters within the page. It is not coming from him anymore. And you even find yourself being drawn into the story. He has a very... It is more than shadows now. Like, you definitely feel like this is a step up from what you've seen before, and it doesn't seem to be frightening to the children or concerning to the children. They seem to simply be enjoying and intrigued by it. Next door, you do see Hilda's room. The door is closed, and inside, you hear conversation. Some of the older children seem to be almost pulling out elements of what had happened before. Have we ever seen him? Do you remember where you were? When you saw that bird, what was it? And you can tell that for the kids, they're having difficulty putting some elements together. Like, why did that bird show up? Who was that girl that came out of the car? When did Anna get back here? And Hilda's doing her best to answer the questions, but in a way it makes sense. That they're kids. They didn't notice this. Anna came in from the other side of the house. That man's not going to be here anymore. The bird had always been around, but they were too busy playing with their, playing Foursquare to notice. And kind of just fielding a wide variety of questions.
Okay. And did I see, like, knowing, okay, I would have probably guessed that he's locked up in the library.
So you do head to the library, and you go to open the door, and it only opens so far. You kind of look in, and you can see one of the desks has been pushed up against the door.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna just call out and say, it's gonna be alright, okay? It's gonna be alright. And then close the door. I do want to go knock on Hilda's room. Knock on the door.
Okay. So you
open it up.
Yeah, it's unlocked. You open it up, and you can see they're all seated on the floor of her room. Hilda has a fairly large desk off to one side. You can see a bunch of letters and messages. There's also a large radio, almost a ham radio, and probably 5 or 6 different cell phones just scattered across the desk. In the center of the room, she has this dark black, almost obsidian rug with just various sparkles on it, almost like stars. But it almost sucks the light into this rug, causing almost this beautiful opaque kind of look throughout the room. But they're all seated in the middle of it. You can see Hilda's on the far side, and she's joined with Ada, Oscar, and Gail. They are the oldest 3 of the second floor, to the point that they're very busy with school. It's almost uncomfortable for them to be up here because the other children are 4 or 5 years younger than them. Mm-hmm. So it's not rare to see Hilda pull one of them aside. Daniel's really good with the younger kids. Hilda's better with the teenagers. But as the door opens, all of them turn to you, smiles and greetings. Hilda stands. Hey, Anna, I was just kind of getting things under control. It was pretty hectic out there.
You're doing perfectly, dear. I'd like to borrow you downstairs if I could. You 3, you have any questions for me before bed? What time is it?
It's afternoon. I would 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Okay. I was thinking it was dark.
No, still daylight outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so forget the last comment then. you have any questions for me before a late lunch?
No, Anna, Hilda's given us everything. Is the gym back open yet? Or there was...
There's a bit of a mess in there. If you feel like cleaning it up, I would appreciate it. But yeah, you can go in and play. And in fact, if you three don't mind taking the little ones and letting them run a bit wild around the gym for a little while, I could use Daniel and Hilda's help.
You watch as like Hilda leans in to them, you hear her whisper, "I'll get you each a sleeve of Thin Mints, just do it." Little bribery for the kids. They smile.
I've taught her well.
They smile, begin to head out, kind of pushing past you to get next door, and you hear Oscar speak out, Daniel.
Before they go, as they're walking past me, I want to lean in and myself and say, "And you get TV choice for the next 3 weekends."
There's a couple of high fives that go amongst them, like, yes, no more cartoons for a couple days. Yes. Definitely excited. They head next door, and you can hear a bit of a, eruption, like people barging into a classroom. It's chaotic, but with time they prepare to head out. Hilda walks out, and she has always been kind of, I guess, acting older than she is. She walks out and puts both hands on your shoulder and looks you eye to eye, and Anna, how are you doing? Like trying to be the firm adult that she is not quite yet, but she would like to be.
I'm gonna put my hands on her shoulders and look her in the eye and say, I feel like shit. But I'm hoping you, my love, can help.
All right. Well, what's is everything okay in the house? I heard some. You're gonna probably think I'm crazy. I thought it was the TV that the kids had left something on, because it just kind of erupted in sounds, or I thought I heard monkeys and like parrots and things. Everything okay?
Well, that's part of what I need your help with. Lena and Brittany are heading downstairs with everyone. Will you grab Daniel and head that way as well?
Sure. We're just in the lobby, or
Brittany will take you where to go. Just
okay.
Just.
All right. And you're sure you're good with the kids just doing their thing in the gymnasium? You don't want either one of us hanging back? Keep an eye on things? Or do you want me to grab someone from downstairs?
Let me see. Actually, if you could grab older kids from, well, actually everyone downstairs who's under, except for Brian and the older kids, and just throw them all in the gymnasium and tell them Anna said to go wild and to do whatever the hell they wanted for the rest of the afternoon.
She smirks, but there's kind of a troubled look in her eye, just like, okay, I mean, I guess the gym already has some destruction in it, so what's not a little more?
Yep, no, I know exactly what I'm doing. It's literally every kid except the 5 that are in the single rooms downstairs, because Brian is little, but I want him in there too, in the chapel too. And then I'm gonna just give her a quick kiss on her forehead and still go look for Connor and Agnes.
Okay. So, as you head
And
upstairs.
did you say Angelos was in there with Daniel? Where was he?
He was in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was kind of standing in the background. So I'm sure he
He's
probably
giving
watches
me-
the kids go out and gives you a inquisitive okay look, but
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at him and say, just go to the chapel room, dear. Go to the chapel room.
yeah, he's not gonna ask too many questions now. There's almost a bit of shame that you feel he has, like he's making eye contact, but it's like just below your pupil, like he's looking at the base of your eyes. There's,
Oh, my boy.
not
I'm
feeling
gonna give him
quite-
a big hug.
he chuckles and pats your back. Yeah, as you begin to head upstairs, the children all began to be moved around, shifted around. When you finally get to the entryway, you walk out and you see in your kitchen that late night or the mid-afternoon snack, the mid-afternoon meal has been partially prepared. You see, some sandwiches that had just been started, like, the ham, the cheese, the peanut butter, things had started to be put up. The pitcher of lemonade, you can see there's the rind of the lemon's about halfway squeezed down, like it hasn't completed. And everything in here seems really fresh. Too fresh to have been Brittany, because that was a good 30, 45 minutes ago by this point. This all feels like it happened within probably the past 15 minutes.
Gonna take it in stride, pat the door frame, and say, keep it up. The kids are all going to the gym, so however you want to get this to them without them leaving that room, go for it. Surprise them. Don't scare them, but surprise them. And I'm just gonna walk away.
As you begin kind of going around each of the rooms, looking in the dining room, kind of peering in the entryway, going down to the lounge, you don't see them.
Heading outside.
As you head back into the entryway, you notice the same thing that they had before. Dark shape kind of casts around the edge of the wall, jumps up and kind of begins walking across what the edge of the couch would be, but still just a shadow on the wall, and you see this long feature of a jaguar just prowling the edge of the room.
I'm gonna smile and say, see if you can't keep the kids in the gym, dear. Who's a good kitty? And then head outside.
So, a question to Connor and Agnes. How long would you wait outside before driving off?
However long Agnes needed, really.
I mean, also, however, whatever time the kid on the phone detracted.
Oh, a couple of seconds. Yeah, hardly any.
It may have been like eternity squeezed into 10 minutes.
Okay. Do you feel like you would still be there once Anna is out, or do you feel like you would have left?
I guess that would depend on Connor, because I guess he's driving. It's his vehicle, so.
Yeah. He'd wait till Agnes looked like she had herself, because she pretty much slid down the side of the van and said, give me a minute. So once she looked like she was steady to go, he'd offer to help her up. I need to get some clothes on
Yeah.
You may have noticed.
Yeah.
So, however long that would have taken.
Okay. Well, I mean, just a question to both of you then of whether you are still out here once Anna gets here, or if she's gonna find the driveway empty.
Probably empty. I feel
Yeah.
like she did a lot of stuff in the house, talking to the
Yeah.
different kids
Yep.
and stuff.
Okay. So yeah, as you head out, you see the vehicle, your black long sedan, still parked down by the edge of the driveway. Hasn't been moved up yet, but there is no van. The van has been taken away. There's no sign of Agnes or Connor on the residence.
All right. I'm gonna send a quick text to Agnes and just say, "Be safe. I'll tell security to let you both back in whenever you want to come back, if you want to come back." And then I want to text Julia from the Ravens and tell her to keep an eye out for Connor's van. Spread the word that I want eyes on them. Something's going on and they're not safe.
Okay. Julia replies just with a confirmation that she will keep an eye out for them. She's already got some folks watching over the bar, so if they show up there, be able to follow them from there.
And I tell her they might head for the tiki bar place. I don't know about the tools because that happened all squished together. So I know about it, but Anna doesn't know about it. But I do let her know that Connor might be running something for one of the unions, and just keep an eye on him and everything. So, do I see anybody else out here?
No, it's actually a little. You almost feel a little exposed out here. There was a sort of comfort you had gotten within the house, like a nice warm blanket. But the moment you walked outside, you just feel exposed. There's the recent memory of what just happened. There's the facts of this organization that seems to be able to follow, to hunt, to spy on anyone that they wish. All of it just seems a bit nasty. You do pass by the kitchen windows and you look inside and you watch as the kitchen has kind of come back to life. There's knives dicing and juice being squeezed and things kind of moving on their own. The house is preparing the meal.
Gonna whisper under my breath, "What the fuck am I doing?" and head back to the chapel room.
So, Connor, where are you headed to?
I need to head back to the bar because that's where my apartment is above it. So I need clothes. Yeah. So that's stop one.
Okay.
Although if Agnes wants me to drop her off somewhere, I'm more than happy to do so.
It might be best for you to be clothed if we go anywhere where I'm seen with you.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right. So you begin to make your way through town, heading up to Thousand Oaks, heading to the bar. Let's take a quick 5-minute break.
Okay.
When we come back, we will catch up with the chapel scene and we will find out what's going on at the bar, because it's been a little while since you were last there. The party is kind of split ways. there's been enough chaos that a bit of calm, peace, or something normal might make the most sense. Connor and Agnes, you travel through very familiar streets, places that you have found yourself passing on a repeated basis over the past couple days, where you had really never traveled before. Through the large security gates of Vineyard Haven, across the drawbridge into Cobble Hill, then taking the southern route as to avoid City Hall District and all of the memories and concern that it had brought. You're heading back to Lou's Doghouse, a place of employment, certainly memories. Even recently, you got a call that there was a large gathering at that place last night. A boxer had showed up and brought quite a crowd with him. Decent night for the bar. For Agnes, this is a place of awake confrontation with cops outside of their district, and a near drowning experience for one of the crew. But there is something normal and mundane about this place. Thousand Oaks is truly the district of the working man. And even on a Saturday, the people are hard at work. Whether it's mowing their lawn or fixing their car, repairing a hole in the fence, painting their house, taking the kids out and teaching them how to ride their bikes. This is one of the few days that they have available to get the to-do lists done. All the while, you feel the tension from one neighborhood to another. You see men covered in tattoos, marked with the dark blue or the dark red, giving furious glances to the opposing side. But there seems to be a lid on this pot. It's not about to boil, and people tend to just walk the other way or give enough distance as to not cause a problem. As you begin to make your way down the street heading to Lou's Doghouse, you can see the doors open, tables, chairs seated around the outside, maybe 5, 6 customers. Watch as a few of the staff bring some drinks out. Tall, bald man, large kind of boxer build. Cyrus, as Connor would know. Walks, giving drinks, chatting, conversing. An older woman, curly red hair, a bit shorter, goes around clearing off the old tables, wiping them down, gathering the glasses and taking them back inside. Aunt Maisie, the one that tends to take over when things are slow. When you're pulling in, do you park right in front? Do you find yourself pulling off to the side? Where is it you take the van?
I mean, potentially, if anybody sees in the back that there is some stuff that I'm moving around, there might be questions. So, like, it's inconspicuous, like a side area, like an alley, or maybe like a whatever's available that's more inconspicuous.
Okay.
It's not that I'm trying to be inconspicuous. I just don't want anybody looking in the van, basically.
Right. Yeah. So you find kind of the delivery alleyway, find a secluded part of it where, again, not likely to get deliveries on the weekend. Can back it in so that the back is up against the side of another building, so it's not too easy to get to it.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
So from there, do you head straight in the front? Do you go through the back? How do you access?
I'm gonna go in the back. The more I'm thinking about it, the less I really want to stop for questions, which, there will be questions. So trying to avoid as much as I can.
Right. You don't really have any kitchen staff, and the back is primarily used for, storage and all of that. Seems both of the workers are likely out front, again, serving the various staff. As you do make your way in, you do see there's another probably 10 or so folks that are inside the building proper. TV's turned on, and you can hear the broadcast. It sounds like some kind of horse race or some kind of race occurring on the TV. A few people seem to be very interested in it, the rest of them just having conversation.
Yeah.
You can hear subtle memories of the night before. But yeah, you're able to kind of make your way in, and you have the stairs that lead up to the second level. While you're doing that, Agnes, what are you up to?
I will probably stay in the van. It's probably the first time she was able to get like a second of being alone since this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long morning.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, you take a moment to just listen to the sounds of the city. It's a bit quiet, peaceful. You hear the distant sound of a lawnmower. Again, children crying out and laughing. Sounds of can kind of gets, kicked down the sideway. The various chatter coming from the bar itself. It really just does sound normal. It doesn't feel like home. There's not, the music doesn't sound the same as Little Havana. The languages spoken are a bit different, but it does seem a bit more calmer than the place you had been previously. As far as all of your accounting and everything, is that done in like an office upstairs? Is there stuff down? Where's the storage of all that, Connor?
There is a like a back office on the main ground floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very big, and generally speaking, we try to get rid of cash as soon as possible because this isn't the best of areas.
Right.
So we dump it in the bank as frequently as we can.
It's been a few nights since you were at this place. Hearing the sounds of the clattering, the chatting, the general fun. How does it feel to have returned to this place?
He wishes he could stay, honestly. Just go back to this normal routine, this, altogether pleasant, where you kind of know what's going to be happening on a day-to-day basis. Everybody knows you. The stability of it,
Mm-hmm.
Sure, there's rough nights. Sure, sometimes people get out of line and need to be, roughed up a little, but generally speaking, it's casual, it's cool, it's chill, and it's normal. And that's the thing that Connor misses the most out of it. But by the same token, he also knows that he's got far too much stuff to do before he can go back to that normal.
Right. As you go to the dresser, you begin pulling new shirt, new pants, grab a belt.
Yeah, I think that actually, to be on the safe side, he's gonna get like a gym bag or something and carry an extra set of clothes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just thinking that might be useful down the line. Should I lose control once again?
Go ahead and give yourself, a story tag of gym bag.
Yeah.
You got some stuff. Is there anything else you grab from your room?
I don't think so. There is a sort of hope that this is going to be at least this thing that he's going to do today, making the delivery, dropping Agnes off. I think there was something else. Oh yeah, going to visit blanking on the name of Castillo.
Yep.
Mrs.
Iris.
Castillo. Iris, yeah. Going to hopefully, get this all done and then be able to come back and spend a little bit more time to sort of decompress before going back out on this mission.
Yeah. So you gather everything, kind of take that breath and begin to make your way back down. Do you take a moment to just go check in with your aunt, or do you head straight back out?
I really don't want to be answering questions right now.
Yeah.
I don't have good answers. So
there's just a moment where you can see, your Aunt and Cyrus, they're busy. There's a part of you that feels good. It's money coming into the bar, but there's also a part of you that knows, Aunt Maisie, she's getting up there.
Yeah.
And she's doing what you should be doing, but you gotta handle it.
Yeah. If there's probably like, are we gonna say post-it notes are a thing in our city? I feel like they probably would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna like real quick on a post-it note scrawl. Had to run a quick errand, be back tonight. Sorry, love, Connor. And then sort of stick it on the office door.
Agnes, as you've been hanging out outside, something does kind of chirp up in your ear. So you hear a distant chirp of a police siren. Just a rit, rit, off in the distance.
Oh, take a deep breath out, rub her eyes, and get out of the car. It's just a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Probably go and wait for Carter to come back out that side door. And just not be in the van for like a second.
Yeah. Kind of wait, listening, ears pricked. You hear the door open. Connor walks out. You notice there's a moment where you look across and you see the van's empty. Like, oh shit. Then you look over, you see Agnes is standing off to the right.
All right.
There's cops around the corner.
Just as you say that, you hear it again. Seems to be a little bit closer.
Shit. Let's step inside for a minute, okay? Maybe they'll just pass.
You go like
Should-
right into the back alley, go up to the top. Where do you try to go to?
Sorry. Yeah. I think maybe stay by the back door, the back entrance. So I'm not actually in the alley, but I can kind of keep an eye down it in case the cop comes this way.
As you begin kind of listening out, you hear the sounds of a tire screech, and it sounds like metal upon metal. The sirens slam on, and you peek your head out past the alley as this dark black van speeds past, following behind that same out-of-district cop car that you've seen roaming around before, the Cobble Hill cops. You see a bit of damage, a bit of black paint on the front end of their vehicle, and these two vehicles go chasing off away from the bar.
All right. Time to go. Maybe send Anna a message letting them know that those cops are still dicking about in this neighborhood.
All right.
And now that I'm proper clothed, I can take you back home or wherever you need to be.
Right. I can't go back like this. There's cops looking probably for us. There's people looking for us. I can't take this to my sister.
All right. You got another idea then, or you got a safe house or anything like that? He says that as a joke, not actually anticipating that Agnes has a safe house.
I mean, there's a beehive. It's always busy. And I forgot my boss's name, but I'm sure my boss will. Oh, it's been a minute. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's.
Boone thought you were dead, by the way, Maru. He's in
Huh? Yeah, probably.
There's the on the Twitch chat.
Who thought I was what? Oh,
Spoon.
No, I am alive somehow.
Nobody's died. Well, a lot of people have died, but none of the characters yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Wait,
God.
Yeah.
I mean, death is inevitable. Now, may it be at the age of 90 or
Sure.
30? It's hard to tell.
Anna, I think he's calling you out.
It's true. With our track record, these several days, not even 1 week.
That's true.
Yeah, any minute now. Yeah, let's head back there. I really need some rest.
Yeah. I'll get you there. Still, is the place where I need to make this delivery, isn't it kind of in that neck of the woods?
Kinda. So if we look at the map, right, you're up here. Hopefully you can see the arrow. So the beehive is this pin down here. And the warehouse you're looking for is around this area over here.
Ah. So it's closer to Agnes's apartment.
It is, yeah.
Well, do you want me to drop you first or get this errand out of the way? I'm heading down in that neck of the woods anyhow.
I'll give you a hand. You probably won't know the streets as well as I do. It'll be faster this way.
That's fair. And vroom vroom.
All right. So they begin to head down through the gardens, past the cemetery, and into Independence, and then down towards Little Havana. Returning back to the sanctuary, a small crowd is gathered in the pool room for you, Anna. You can see all of your staff standing in the front, and a crowd of about 7 of the children, ranging in ages from like 8 down to or up to about 18, but all of them having spent the most amount of time within this house. They all look to you with a bit of a puzzled look. With the kids, it's a mixture of excitement, but also concern. Are they in trouble? Did they do something wrong? I'm not quite sure.
Well, hello, my loves. We've had a bit of a day. Brittany, if you go unlock the room. So, you all have been here the longest, and I feel I owe you all the most explanation for what happened today, since you all are the ones who were maybe a bit more sensitive to it. You noticed that the house felt different when that man arrived. Maybe that the things that make you all special were turned off or dampened a bit. Well, that man was my ex-husband. I haven't seen him for longer than most of you have been alive. It's been a very, very long time. And he's gotten stronger, just as I have over the years, with my own gifts. And he came here to, he said, warn us, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it felt more like a threat. And so I'm a little bit scared, everyone. I'm not really scared for myself because, well, I can take care of myself, but you lot, my lovely children, if that man or the people he works for gets his hands on you, gets his hands on any of the kids in this house, they will rip everything away from you. Turn you into a shell of yourself. Make you painfully normal again. And they will probably take you away from this home. And I know that's scary as shit. Swear jar. Understood. But I also know that this house wants to protect us. But it needs things from us to do that. And anyone can walk away from this. Anyone can say no. But I do want everyone to go into the room where Brittany just went. So you know what this house is here for. So you know how much it loves you. And if it asks you for something and you think you can give it, I encourage you to do so. I won't let it take anything from you that would hurt you. I'd sooner cut off my own hand than let anything hurt you. But things in this city are getting very scary. I know all of you have been watching the news. You've seen some of the stories about children going missing, about Benji. I know most of you didn't know him, but some of you did. And those 3 people I brought home the other day, Ake, Agnes, and Connor, they all knew someone who died, and I stumbled upon them and I offered to help them figure out what was going on, who took us away our Benji. And it brought that man on our heads, and I'm so sorry, little ones. So sorry. But we are a family, and we are strong. And we can make this house stronger. All I ask is that you go in and you listen. And if you're too scared, that's fine, you can stay. Out here, Angelos will take care of you. But if you think you can help, even a little bit, just follow me. And I'm gonna head into the chapel room.
So as you enter in, you hear Lena speak up. Each of you have been on a journey thus far. The time that you have spent with me in training, in preparation, it is now where we have a choice to make. I have taught you each on how to find courage in the darkest moments, and how to protect those that need protection. And in this time, it is those that sleep above this floor that need our help most than all. It is the walls of this building that needs our help most of all. Go into this as a warrior. Face this room with a knight's spirit. You will find the answer for what you seek, but it might be clouded in darkness, in fear. Understand that anything you experience within this place will have been your push to the next step of your journey. And for some of you, the final step of your journey, the completion of your training. Step forward, my warriors. Step forward and give yourself to this place as we and it has given itself to you. Walk with honor. Walk with me. As you enter into the room, Brittany has begun to do her own rituals, and you notice they're a bit more intense. It almost sounds like she is trying to rapidly help the spirits of this house to become calm in protection for the children that are about to enter into this realm. As you walk in, do you stand beside? Do you stand at the door? Where do you head to?
I'm gonna stand at the door, and I want to make sure Rebecca gets in this room.
Do you look to her to come in first? Or
Just like make sure I get eye contact with her and give her a nod and gesture in.
Mhm.
Mostly because I'm a shithead and I want to see what happens when Chaos Incarnate walks into this place. So.
So
do
you
this.
do notice as a few of the older children kind of lead the way. I would say Rebecca's probably about the fourth one in line. The first to make his way in is Castle. I mean, he's already a big kid, but you've seen what he can do when he wields that massive sword. It is with this swift and fluid grace that seems almost unbecoming for a person of his size. When he strikes down with it, it almost seems like the earth itself will split in two. He is a very powerful, strong being. But with his strength has come rage and danger and overflowing pride at times that Lena has really helped to trim down to turn him into more of a guardian than just a warrior. He walks to the door and looks in, kind of surveys the area and looks to you. Do I just walk in?
You just walk in, lad. And keep your mind open.
Keep my mind open. Keep my mind open.
And I
He
ruffle
walks.
his hair as he goes by. Which is a big reach for me since I'm itty bitty, but I do it.
He walks in, takes a moment, closes his eyes. See as he kind of peeks over to Brittany. He kneels down. Reaches his hand out to touch the altar, and there's a moment where you see his hand connect to the altar itself. Takes a deep breath and breathes out, and you watch as this very strange ripple effect moves from his mouth almost down to his shoulder and causing every muscle and vein to rise, to swell like a tidal wave moving through his flesh, eventually getting to his hand. And as it reaches into the wall, you feel the house shudder, almost shake for a moment. He opens his eyes and pulls his hand back, kind of looks over and makes sure nothing bad has happened, that noise was okay. He goes to stand up, and his left hand kind of slips underneath his weight on the floor, and you notice this bright red streak of blood coming from his hand.
I step into the room and take off my left glove and wrap it around the cut. Say, what did it ask you, lad?
It... You can tell he's kind of pulling pieces together. It asked for me to push. And I didn't know what it meant. But it just kept asking me to push, so I did, or I think I did. Did I break something?
No, lad. You did good. Now, go get that cleaned up, okay? And I'm just gonna pat him on the cheek and send him on his way and gesture for the next person to come in.
As he heads out, you hear a few of the other kids like, hey, what happened in there? And Castle's just playing it cool. Nothing to worry about. It's all fine. He's definitely got that kind of protector tone to his voice. It's all good in there. Nothing to worry about. What happened to your hand? Oh, it's not, I had this before I got in there. No worries. We're completely fine. Anna walks in. She's the oldest of them all.
Mhm.
And there's a moment when she kind of looks in and looks to you in a bit of, why am I just finding out about this now? But she just steps in, showing that she can figure out what needs to happen here. She looks to Brittany, listens to some of what she's saying, reaches into some of her pockets, pulls something in her hand, and then nods along with Brittany for a moment. She begins to rub the substance in her hand, rises up to her mouth, and blows. And you watch as like the top shelf of all of these items, these collected things, multiple gloves, in a moment turns to silver. Like a flash freeze across all of them, now shining bright and turned to metal. She takes her hand, places it on these items, nods a bit more, and you watch as her pinky starts to draw a line, and she marks her initials in gold on the left-hand side simply by tracing her pinky along this metal. A. Steps back, wipes her hand, looks around this place and gives a smile like, I hear you. I get it. Looks to you with this beaming smile. I'm on your page now. I see what's happening here. Some questions I've had for a while are starting to make sense. What is your reaction seeing the altar changed in this way?
Big smile. As soon as she turns around to look at me, I just give her a wink.
She grins. Heads past. One of the younger kids, Channing, standing in the doorway. He's always tried to act a little bit big for his britches. He loves games like hide and go seek. Really likes to be the seeker. Really likes going up against the larger kids when it comes to wrestling, trying to build that strength. And he charges into this room like a warrior should, no fear in him. He stands and he looks at this now changed altar, a bit puzzled by it, but begins to get down and study each of the items that are on there, picking up a few things, setting them back down, tracing his fingers across the various gloves, going down the woodwork of the altar, getting down even to some of the dust and the dirt down below. Takes a bit of it and closes his eyes, begins to hum. As he's humming, he turns his head as if he's hearing something come from his left-hand side, and with his eyes still closed, he begins to trace up the side of the wall. His hands begin to walk up. He stands up. They raise above his head, maybe about 5.5 feet tall, on one cinder brick that's on the side. Eyes still closed, he pulls a knife out from the back of his shirt that had been hidden there and makes a marking. It looks like a simple X. But as he carves into it, you watch as the flakes themselves, or the stone itself, flakes away in wood pieces. Like carving into a tree. Eyes still closed, he catches these 2 strips of wood as they fall down from the wall. Looks in his palm. Smiles and pats the wall. Takes the wood, puts it in his pocket, and leaves the room.
Ruffle his hair on the way out, too. Tell him he did good.
Rebecca enters into the maintenance room.
Oh, shit.
She's seen 4 kids come and go. All of them seem fine. She walks to you and just grabs your hand and squeezes for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Steps inside. Looks to Brittany. Sits down next to her. Closes her eyes. Opens them again. Tries to close her eyes even harder. Looks over to Brittany. Not seeing any change there. You can tell there's a part that wants to look back to you.
I'm gonna take off my other glove and go in.
You can see the back of her neck is starting to turn a little red.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassment. Whatever it might be.
I'm gonna put my hands on her shoulders. And I don't know what I can do, but I wanna see if I'm getting a sense of there being any block. Or any way I can wake her up just a little bit more to see what the house will do.
Give me an investigate check.
Okay.
What tags do you want to use on this?
Secrets of the Mist and Folgers. For sure. I kind of actually want to use premonition as well because I'm trying to get a sense of if there's anything. Well, I don't know if premonition or mist bending would be better, but there's really no mist in here after what I did earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I want to use power of 3 because I want to see if Max can read her a little bit. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
All right. And you said investigate?
Yeah.
Roll 20, don't fuck me up. Dice gods, be my friend.
Okay.
I clicked it. Yay!
So you have 3 questions, and I get to select one of the options there, depending on the response that you get. So what question are you focusing in on first?
Is she blocking this or something blocking her? That's my biggest question.
You feel like there is a fire, but it hasn't had its spark.
Okay.
That
Next
there.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Is can I? Is there anything I can do to be the spark to force this a little?
So I'm actually going to use your result here to ask you a question, because yes, there is. And so there was a time that Anna said or did the wrong thing with Rebecca. This was early on. You have had Rebecca here for about probably 8-9 years. I mean, she was really quite young when you found her. Okay. And those first couple months were absolute chaos. You've never been able to get a clear read as to what's going on. It just seems like bad luck has always surrounded her. But it's never been something she's doing. It's just she happens to be there and something bad happens. Well, something happened in which you reacted poorly, and it may be the only bad memory that Rebecca has, but it is one bad memory of Anna. What is it? Because in this time, in order to activate it, Rebecca needs to feel those feelings that she's felt before. The anger, the hatred, the hurt.
I probably just was so frustrated that it came off as disappointment, and I told her to just leave the room and go to her room, and I would come get her when everything was calmed down. Like, I didn't take her side, I took the other kid's side and just told her to go.
Yeah, there was definitely that bruised feeling, the loss of a protector, the I don't know what I did wrong here, a lot of pain in that moment, and you've certainly made up for it, but kind of your reflection on this is that you definitely feel that Rebecca needs to experience those kind of emotions to make whatever is going to happen.
Okay, I gotta break my baby. Okay, I'm gonna lean down and whisper in her ear. Think about this. I'm gonna whisper in her ear and I'm gonna say, "You're not trying hard enough. Push, girl. You can do it. I know you can. But I don't think you want it enough. You got to want it more. Push."
Okay. I'm going to have you take a risk here.
Yeah.
As you're definitely basically it's not necessarily guilt, but it's edging on the embarrassment she's already feeling. Like you are failing in this room. So what tags are you gonna use to take a risk and avoid whatever negative influences could come from this?
Safe house. Because this is still her home. I kind of want to do seasoned negotiator because this is me trying to play with the weaknesses I know she has. And can I use Folgers again? Because I'm trying to wake her up.
Probably can't use that because this is basically a reaction of what you've just learned. Yeah.
Okay. Situational adaptation.
Sure, yeah, you're ready to adapt to whatever negative influence. I mean, you've been in situations similar to this before.
Yeah, okay. All right. You said take a risk?
Yep.
Roll 20. Please don't be a dick. Dice gods love me. Click. Ooh!
So there's a moment as you watch the redness kind of flush and flare out. And there's this foul feeling that quickly alleviates, but you watch as the altar itself almost warps, as if the leg is about to collapse and make the entire thing crumble, but then morphs back to accept this. From a distance, you can hear, it sounds like ripping and tearing, a grumbling from the ground outside this wall. You wait for a moment to see if it will subside, but after maybe 2 minutes of this groaning and creaking and tearing of the ground, you hear this loud slam of something large and something heavy impacting the earth outside the house.
Okay. Okay.
She looks back to you with like a bit of fear in her eyes.
Gonna pull her into a hug.
Lena's already started to make her way out of the room just to go check on things,
Yeah.
see what had happened there.
Hopefully the gymnasium floor didn't collapse and drown all the children in the pool. Okay, I'm gonna kind of pet her hair and just say,
You did it, love. Keep going.
She looks to you. You want me to do that again?
I want you to do that as often as you feel it's safe to do so.
Okay.
I'm trusting you here.
I know.
I have faith in you.
I know I need to get over this. I'm sorry. I was a little scary. But it's okay.
You know, you did good. You did very good. I'm proud of you. And hey, practice makes perfect.
She squeezes you for a moment and then urges to move past, as if she too wants to go see what just happened.
I'm taking it on faith that nothing terrible happened or something really fucking cool did. Alright.
So from there you see the remainder of the children begin to make their way in. These are some of the younger children. You
Yeah.
have Brian and Kaylin and Aubrey.
I'm gonna walk in with these three.
They all stand around Brittany, close her eyes and try to focus in. You can tell they're a little bit uncomfortable, move their shoulders a little bit. Brian's the first to act. See him rough around his pockets. Pulls out. Looks like about the size of a quarter. He looks at it. Starts to go put it back into his pocket. But then he hears Brittany say something. And it's not that he understood it. It is just a recollection of where he is in this moment. And that things are larger than him. He takes it, places it on the shelf. You hear it sounds almost like a very fast hailstorm. Just something solid hitting against the stones in the back. And something shifts in the room, causing the coin to drop and duplicate on the floor. He looks around, kind of grabs the one coin, takes the original and puts it back on the shelf, and puts the other one back on the shelf again. And he waits and he stares at it. And he waits and he stares at it some more. And he pokes it. And then Brittany comes and just pats him on the shoulder, and he looks and he sighs. Takes a copy of his coin, puts it back in his pocket. Aubrey moves forward. She looks down to the blood on the ground. Looks at this altar, looks to Brittany and nods. Pulls a rag out. Begins to wipe the blood on the ground, and as she does, you notice as the blood begins to glow and disappear like golden embers. She wipes the floor clean. Holds up her handkerchief and whips it like a blanket. You watch again as there's just this brief puff of these golden embers dissipate in the air, leaving her with a clean napkin. She steps back in the crowd. She looks to you. Castle's gonna be okay.
I have no doubts, dear.
Last, you have Kaylin. This entire time, she's been standing there and she's been writing in her journal. And there's, as you look over her, I mean, there's very specific information from how was each of them looking as they came through, almost a psychological report on each of these individuals as they exited the room, a very in-depth, almost police report of this altar room, of the maintenance room, of an understanding of the engineering of what is in the maintenance room. There is an extreme level of knowledge within the few paragraphs and words that she has on this page. She looks around and takes the dog out of her pocket. She looks into this room and listens to Brittany and listens around and begins to flip through her pages. And finds one that looks like dated records of things she's heard in a language that she may not have known, but in this moment, she does. And utters the same chant that you had heard Blair's parents utter within this place, with the exact same cadence and pronunciation as they had before. As the last syllable leaves her lips, you hear the voices of the other two kind of echo along her. A remembrance that they are also still here. Kaylin shows no fear. In fact, it's as if something she would have expected. As she turns to you, she closes her book and smiles. There's still a lot to learn here, Miss Reagan. Can I come back to this room?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to hear their stories. By the
I
time,
can't wait for you to write them down.
by the time these kids have completed their ritual, Lena returns. You know the big oak we had out back?
Uh-huh.
Well, we're not going to be short on firewood anytime soon.
Well, we'll have to have a bonfire night then.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess should be happy didn't fall on the house, but as it was, no damage other than 100-year-old tree falling.
Well, rather a tree than one of the kids. She did good.
Alright, so Daniel, Hilda, Angela, Selena, and Brittany are the only ones still kind of hanging around.
Yeah, the rest of the kids have kind of started to gather outside of the maintenance room, talking about what they did, what they heard, what they saw, you know, general, this is kind of cool conversation.
Alright,
Lena, tell Angelo to let the others go on up to the gym with the rest of the kids and then come back down here. Daniel, Hilda, your turn, my loves.
They both nod. Daniel heads in first. He sits down. Has Daniel been down here before?
Maybe. I will leave that one up to you because, I mean, it's his, Brittany is his aunt. So,
Right.
you know, she might have brought him down here. I certainly wouldn't have told him he couldn't come down here, so.
Last time I was here, you told me it was my job to make the kids happy, make them feel safe. But I know my story's changing now. What do I need to tell them? What do they need to hear? He nods. That's not going to be too scary, is it? All right. Tonight. Takes his hand. Places it upon the altar itself. I will continue to be your storyteller. Your words of wisdom will be heard. Turn up your ears. Focus your eyes. It's going to be one to watch. He leans into Brittany and gives her a kiss on the top of the head. You hear him whisper, "Say an extra prayer for me. I need to be strong for what I'm about to do." Hilda's hesitant. She's never been comfortable with all of this. This floor in particular has just always given her bad vibes. She walks to the room. She leans next to you. So I just go in and have a conversation.
That you do, love.
This isn't gonna awaken anything like it did before, is it?
What does she mean before?
When she first moved in, she had a pretty intense, almost bipolar tendency of acting one way, calm, caring, and then on a flip of a dime, very violent and aggressive. And so you moved her down to the 3rd floor, and the thoughts that the calming, protective nature of this place would help to appease whatever it was causing that, but it did the opposite. She would wake up every night screaming as she would find these runes glowing on her ceiling, just overwhelming her with a sense of power, just frightening, and something she wanted no part of. So you moved her upstairs to be further away from that and focusing her task on protecting the children, but also being the point of contact for the Seven Nation army, the person that keeps track of everyone that leaves, where they are, constant communication with them, focusing more on the mundane. You can dial a phone, you can take notes.
Okay.
So for her, it's she knows that there is something extremely scary and powerful in her, and she's just scared of allowing that to break through like it used to.
Okay. Hands on her shoulders, turn her to face the altar. Walk her forward.
She
Dear.
walks. Mm-hmm.
You and Rebecca have a lot in common, you know. You're terrified of everything that's inside you. And you have good reason to be. You have damn good reason to be. Cat agrees. But you are so strong. And so I just want you to try. And if it does awaken whatever's inside you a bit more, I want you to know you're not that scared little one anymore. You're a powerful young woman who knows her own mind. And you can always tell the house no. And it won't take offense, I know it won't. And you can still do good for all of us, as you are. But I'd like you to try.
She takes a deep breath. walks forward, sits on her knees, places her hands in front of her, and begins to pray. Just like Brittany. Litany of Christian Catholic prayers of protection. Just, Father, protect me, guide me. Her voice begins to deepen, as if she's speaking from the depths of her lungs, causing them to cast. The flickering of the lights, the candles in the room begin to sway back and forth. And you notice that the illusion of these lights begin to cast these dots across the ceiling up above. As you kind of watch this illusion of sparkles cast across the ceiling, they begin to kind of mix and form these spirals, clusters. As you look to the back of this young woman, you notice this glow, dark black wings beginning to become less transparent, curled back against her back. Her head, the bright red hair, begins to almost lick at the ends with a flame. And the depths of her voice begins to split, no longer hearing a single voice, but two voices echoed on top of each other. A third, a fourth. She starts trembling, trying to focus, clearing her throat. And there's a moment where you watch this beam of light reflect from her to the stars above, and in one voice, well, in one sound, you hear 1,000 voices utter, "Please stop!" And like that, the room fades back. The candles flutter back to a dull glow, and she sits there just trembling, a few tears running down. Brittany has to take a moment for herself, as she maybe hadn't noticed, began to look over to her, and she's pulled her cross out from beneath her dress, and she's been holding it very tightly. There's even a look of fear in Brittany's eyes. She looks up to you and grabs the girl and pulls her close, but gives you a look like, nope, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna kneel and also pull the child close and go, "We are Legion," in my head. Okay. Sure. And just say, "That's all I asked of you, Hilda. You did all I asked. Good girl, good girl. It's all right. It's all right."
Yeah, she's
And
just sobbing in your arms.
Yeah. I'm gonna just look at Brittany. Take her to her room.
She picks her up and begins to guide her out. Tries to wipe her tears and calm her before they get out to the floor. As you collect yourself, you have a moment to observe the room, and if you look up to the ceiling, you can see in the dull gray cinder blocks dark black burn marks from where those clusters and dots had once been.
So what you're telling me is she is Jane Grey. Jean Grey, not Jean Grey. Jean Grey.
She's potential
She's
problem
up.
child. That's for
Yep.
sure.
I mean, look, I put this whole together with the mind of I am a warmongering jerk with the X-Men at my disposal. So, yay! All right, cool. Are all the rest of the kids gone and Angelo's back, or what?
Yeah, so by this point, the cluster of children have been moved upstairs. It's just you, Angelos, and Lena that remain in the room.
All right. Kind of glance at Lena and then over to Angelos and say, "You, my darling boy. You didn't do anything wrong today. Not a bit.
I don't know what went over me.
He,
I should have known and just kept him there at the frickin' gate, never let him in.
but darling, he wouldn't have given you a choice, and it's better that you let him in and he didn't hurt the kids. So, I did all this tonight because we're going to war. And Brittany is all about the house. She will keep it fueled. She will do what she has to. But you two, I need you two.
Well, I hear you, Anna. I hear you loud and clear. There's no way I'm letting anyone like that man getting back on this property because what he did. I sure as hell don't know how I'm gonna be able to fight against it. So keep him away. Keep him away from the kids. I am 100% with you on that. But I'll be damned. What is he?
He is the antithesis of me. Every bit of power I have, he is the opposite. At least I think so. Even when he and I were married, long before I brought you two home, gave you a place. He always made me feel normal, which, you know, when you have your dead sister in your head is something you kind of crave. But the longer I was with him, the more it felt less like normal and more like he was suppressing the things that made me me. Power I have.
I'm worried that he's just gonna... He could have been here at any point. We would have never known about it.
I know. That's why we're doing this. The sanctuary is going to be our sanctuary, our fortress. Because I'll toe the line outside these walls, but he hasn't been welcome within them for 30 years. And I'll be damned if he sets foot on this property again and puts any of you in danger.
Well, I'm feeling like everything's gonna be alright then.
Oh no, dear. We're not done. Your turn. Lena, you too.
They both take a moment, holding their hands, looking to each other, and there's definitely something, just the way that they look at each other, like a bit of, it's time for you to stand up, but also, everything is going to be okay. And at the end of the day, we are the last bit of defense that those kids have upstairs. They both step inside. Angelos taking a bit of food out of his pocket. Pulls some fruit out of the other. Brings it to his hand and crushes it, causing a cascade of juices and crumbs to flow across the edge. Upstairs, you hear a bunch of children like cheer as if something exciting has just happened for them. Lena steps forward, begins to stomp her foot and beat her chest. She does this. You feel the room begin to shake, to shudder. And you hear this cascade of doors closing, shutters locking shut, the house itself securing as she steps forward as the house's rightful protector. Angelos kind of gets done before her, takes a moment, steps back, and just places his hand on her shoulder, as a caring husband, but wipes a little bit of the crumbs and the juice on it, the sly grin on his face. As she finishes, she turns. He wipes a bit of sweat off her forehead. They embrace. You notice as she reaches into one of his back pockets, finds a bit of candy, some chocolate, and makes a marking across his back as well. Probably notice you, give you a sly grin. I think it's best get upstairs, get to playtime, and get this place ready for the night. So as they exit, you are left in the altar room on your own.
Close the door behind them and lock it. I'm gonna go sit in front of the altar again. Just start talking to Ethel and Bertram because I haven't seen them in a very long time. And I'm gonna stare at the altar and say, was that enough? Do you need more?
You feel the power of this place has grown. Connection has now been made to each individual child, and understanding has been there. You hear, through the vague understanding you have of all the different languages used in this place, you hear a response that with the power of these new day keepers, this house will be safe and protected from outside influences. However, the training must be completed. And there is one more thing this house needs. The bond of two men that have visited this altar room before, but never completed their sacrifice.
I'm gonna text. Well, I'm gonna nod, lay a hand on the altar, check and make sure my gun hasn't slipped where it's strapped underneath my shirt at my back. I'm gonna unlock the door, head out, look at the weapons collection one more time. Grab a small knife, stick it in my boot. And I'm gonna head outside and as far away from the house as I can get while still being on the grounds. Gonna text Connor and Agnes, check on them, let them know that if they need help, I have people keeping an eye out for them. So if they see anyone hinky, check with me first.
You do get a text as you get up to the top levels from them that those damn cops from before. You also get a separate text from Julia mentioning that they saw Connor and Agnes return to the bar and also saw the cops drawing near. And not to worry, because Jude was on top of it. They seemed to be free of the district and heading south last they saw.
Okay. And as is my wife, I'd like to do something stupid. It's my favorite thing still. I've had a very trying day. I would like to scream.
Okay.
Now that I'm away from everybody. And I will turn around and make sure that I'm away from everybody, that none of the kids are hiding around or anything. And then I want to scream.
All right. So this is going to be a take the risk. Now your weakness is definitely going to play a part here. Now, there's the other aspect. You do have that Tranquil 4 as well.
I know. But
I feel like this is by choice.
Yeah.
So I would say it doesn't affect that. However, you might lose that based off what happens here.
You know, I feel like that's fine. I don't want to be calm anymore. I'm ready to kill. Okay. All right. So, how many weakness tags can I use?
Just one weakness, up to 3 power tags, and then any statuses or story tags.
Okay, so Banshee's Wail for sure. Power of 3, because fuck if my sisters didn't put me in this position. I have a feeling maybe some premonition on this. Like, I've now seen a glimpse of my own future from my fucking ex-husband showing up, and that's not fun for me, maybe. And Folgers. Can I use Folgers now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, and Folgers because I'm trying to wake myself up a little to get rid of whatever fucking shit Ake did to me, because I need to be alert and I need to be ready. Okay. And it's take a risk
Take
again.
the risk, yep.
didn't invoke before I rolled either. What is wrong with me? Okay.
So go ahead and mark attention and know that you will be creating a new power tag.
Yup.
So you step out. Give me an idea. Are you facing out like towards the road that leads up to your place? Are you facing off like down to the forest back beyond? Which way have you oriented yourself?
Definitely like towards the trees.
Mm-hmm. You open your mouth.
Yeah.
And allow Max to come forward with the full force of a hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
You scream so loud, so violently, that the ground, the trees, the earth itself seems to tear at this chaos. Like a flood of deadly energy, the landscape turns to naught but dust before you. A massive hole of decay and destruction, cutting a hole through this entire forest. Far in the distance, you watch as a flock of birds flying through the air plummet to the ground dead.
Oh shit. Okay.
And you focus in and shudder as the side of a tall mansion appears past the dust. It doesn't appear your scream has reached them, but looking through, you realize whose property it is. On top of the tower, they have a clear view of your property now. The residence of Barbara King.
Ha!
As we race away from the chaos of the Vineyard Haven, as I'm sure there's more to come there, we find ourselves back with Connor and Agnes making their way down through town. You pass through the gardens, pass by Oke's apartment, head across the bridge and there into Independence. Connor, for you, maybe you haven't spent a lot of time here. Independence is almost its own micro city. It has its own small city center, town hall, variety of different parts of it. The Rose, the Black House Asylum. But there's always a feeling of tension in this place. With the near access to the Black House Asylum, you definitely feel like those impacted by the nurses are likely to be impacted here. People have a tendency to look down when strangers are crossing their path, to not let their kids play outside all that often. It's a fairly tense district. As you pull in kind of close to the edge of the district, you see a row of different warehouses. You look at your address and you find the one in particular you're looking for. As you pull forward, it looks like it's a warehouse for storage from a junkyard. There's a bunch of metal parts and car parts kind of stacked around the outside. You do see a group of men wearing very similar clothing, overalls, coveralls, kind of rolled up on their sleeves or rolled down around their waist. You do see markings, the red bands around their sleeves. But along the side of this building, you see that there's 2 or 3 like bucket trucks parked, like the ones you'd expect to see working on the various like wires or tree trimming, that kind of stuff, parked off the side. And then in the warehouse itself, as you kind of drive by, you can see a lot of sparks, like welding work going on within the building itself. Do you drive by to get a perspective? Do you pull right in? Yeah.
At this point, Connor's got a lot of paranoia issues, so driving by first to get a look at the area and what's about.
Yeah, you did. You have a moment to observe the area, and just from your brief kind of glances, again, you see maybe about 5 of these workers on the outside. Inside, it looks like just shelves of metal parts and pieces, and back behind them you can see again the flashing blue light of maybe 2 or 3 workers busy welding stuff in the depths of the warehouse proper. As you do go past, you are able to look back upon the 2 vehicles off to the side, and this is likely something that stands out to you, Agnes, more than Connor. It's the logo on the right hand side, that these are actually Brotherhood of the Electricians vehicles.
Connor, what are we doing here?
Like in a quick drop off, and then we'll be on our way. Are you all right?
She glances over to the trucks. She recognizes those, like, we better make it quick. We shouldn't be here.
All right then. Quick as I can. Yeah, I will head to the address then. Do you want to, like, I don't know, are you like, do you want to stay low in the car or something? Just.
There's. You see those trucks with the electrician logo on them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think they're looking for me. I'd rather not risk finding out.
Okay. All right then. Then I'll definitely make this as quick as I can. Yeah, you just might want to, keep out of sight, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, I'll head to the address.
Okay.
Can I back in?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you're able
I'm
to.
assuming Agnes is riding shotgun. I don't imagine there's too many seats in this van.
Yeah, no, you can definitely back in, and she can kind of duck low.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you start going up, one of the guys waves his hand, trying to stop you. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
We've done a delivery for you from a guy whose name I wrote down last week but cannot find my notes for.
That would be Roger Hennigan.
Roger Hennigan.
Oh, you're Connor then.
Aye.
All right, come on back. He begins waving you.
Okay. I shall go.
Get back, and he pats it. Is it back here?
Yeah, it's in the back there.
They go, and as they
And
walk
I'll
back,
hop out and try to keep anybody's attention from the front of the van. So I'm actually going to get out and kind of draw attention to myself, and kind of go back there and open up for them and all that.
Hey, Sean, Connor's here. Here from back in the warehouse. Oh, good. I've been meaning to talk to that boy. You see a relatively familiar face walk out from the warehouse. Sean O'Rooney. A man you've seen your father have many meetings with. His hands are greased and a bit dirty. Outfit he wears definitely is not business attire. It appears to be work attire. He pulls out a rag and wipes his hand off, walks forward. You've certainly grown up there, lad. It's been quite a while. How have you been, Connor?
Oh, not too bad. Yourself, Mr. Rooney?
Doing good, doing good. I won't say I wasn't a bit surprised when I heard you to agree to take this job. It's mighty kind of you. We've been looking for this equipment for quite some time. Got a couple projects back there that without these tools, we'd be sitting ducks for quite some time. I do believe that we owe you a bit of cash for this delivery.
Yeah.
That's
Just a bit.
That's good. That's good. I
Just trying
don't.
to keep the old girl working.
Oh, absolutely. I've been meaning to stop by, and I'm very sorry it's taken me so long since your poor dad's passed. There were just a few accounting things he and I had been working out, and I was hoping if you had the time, maybe you and I could plan a sit down to clean up the books and make sure everything's all fair. I'm sure he left you some records, and there's got to be something in the paperwork back there. But if not, I do have my own records. It was just a few loans he had taken out, help the business and all that. We're just looking to make sure everything's fair. Now, there's no rush on the payment or anything like that, and certainly I'm not expecting anything from here. I just want to make sure you're aware of everything as it were, and there's no surprises for you.
Oh, I've been meaning to get a look at them books for a while. Been a bit busy. Had a lot going on, as you might expect, but I'm looking to be going through those books soon enough.
Well, you take your time. It's only been a few weeks, so I can understand. It's really no problem at all. Would it be all right if I called down to your aunt and set something up, say, a few weeks' time? We'll just sit down, hammer out the details, make sure everything's fair and square, and go from there. Would that be acceptable to you, young lad?
Tell you what, does she know how to get in touch with you?
Oh, I'm sure I've got a card there. If not, I can have one of my boys drop one off.
I mean, if you've got a card, I'll take it with me right now. But yeah, I'd like to talk to her myself first. If it's all the same.
I understand. Look, yeah, let me grab you something. He goes, finds some note paper or something from the warehouse and scratches out his number on it. Now again, I understand you're coming into this business with no foundation beneath you, so I get it is a large deal to take, and this is not me looking for anything. Just again, an understanding. I think it is important that all business owners up there in the Oaks knows exactly what's happening, and well, really, I want to make sure my people are there to help you out if there's ever anything you need. Your father was a great friend of mine, and I do hope that I can repay that kindness that he paid to me through our work together.
Yeah. yeah, like I said, I'm gonna take some time, get into the books a bit, just get a feel for how things are going. Um, I'll definitely be in touch. I mean, I definitely want to clear these things as soon as I can. Doesn't do anybody any good, does it? Sitting on all of this unresolved. What do you
No,
call it?
you certainly don't want any of this falling through the cracks. At some point, someone's going to become calling, and it's best you just know what's there in front of you so it doesn't come right around and get you in the back.
Yeah, uh, I'm sure that's true.
Well, let me go grab your cash real fast. Hang tight, and my boy should have that unloaded for you here real quick and fast, like. Agnes, as they're having this conversation, are you kind of just cowering down? Are you looking in the mirrors at all?
The entire time, and like probably in the footwell, and like, or as much as I can be to still be able to see where those vans are, and or what's going on with them. It's a
Yeah,
big paranoia.
yeah. You have a moment to kind of look around and observe, and for the most part, you just see the guys unload, take the tools inside. But you do watch as two other individuals walk out of the building. Both of them are wearing the typical kind of electrician's blue outfit, and with their white, hard hats, their tool belt, and they are carrying this large piece of dark black glass. Now, for us, it looks like a solar panel, right? It looks almost exactly like a solar panel. But they take it out of the building and go right beside the truck, and you can see that there's little slats on the inner side of the truck that they take this and lay it down within, kind of buckle it in, and you have a chance to notice this is probably about the third one, that's within this rack, this glass rack on the side of these trucks. I mean, it's definitely not like you're looking at it and you can tell it is a piece of technology you're not familiar with, right? We would see it as solar panels, but those have not appeared in the city yet. You are familiar with the news report that the City of Independence has signed a deal with the Brotherhood to start installing a newer, greener energy, and it would appear that this is likely that.
Okay. Um, I'm not moving.
Mm-hmm.
I am not getting involved if I can help it. So she'll watch, but she won't make any efforts to go and investigate herself. Like she won't go any closer.
Right.
She's not leaving the car.
Yeah, just a mental note. Yeah. You're like,
Yes.
okay, we're seeing some things here. So Sean returns with an envelope of cash. It's about $1,000. It's a lot more than you were probably expecting to get for such a small box.
Yeah.
He grins,
This
pats
is
you
okay.
on the shoulder. Again, you don't know how much you've helped us with this. So please take this, get your vehicle fixed up, and well, I do hope that you and I have a chance to meet and hammer out the books soon.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Appreciate it. Kind of like I'm making the hand motion, but nobody can see that because I don't have my camera on. But it's like, where you've got like an envelope and you just sort of like kind of flick it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
like in a kind of like
Like a
chipper sort
salute.
of way. Yeah, something like that. So
Yeah.
that's it. It just thank you. I'll get in touch with you as soon as I'm able.
Yeah,
And
he nods and shakes your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're allowed to leave. They don't bother you at all. You check your money. There's no die pack. It's all there. It's all real. You don't see any kind of
Not full of rabid weasels. That's good.
no. It's yeah. It seems to just be straight money. Again, more than you were expecting to get paid, but
It's a lot more than he was expecting to get paid, which actually kind of like he put on the chipper disguise because like he felt the gorge rising in his throat, like with that sort of sense of like, what did I just do?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So from there, I mean, is there anything Agnes brings up to Connor? Or is there any immediate? Oh, by the ways.
No.
Yeah. So, with a delivery completed, a forest destructed, and a whole bunch of new chaos reigning in the city, we are gonna go ahead and call it a night there.
Yay, chaos.
Yeah. So.
Calling me chaos. I feel that personal.
Yeah. No, it's just it's something new. Something new.
Aren't you glad I messaged you to tell you that, hey, I'm gonna drag all these kids in, and then just do that on the fly?
Yeah. No, that was good. It's definitely building up to a very interesting thing that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Just one?
Oh well, I mean, more than one. But yeah, I guess when we come back next week, hopefully we'll have Okay back, and we can deal with Okay and Anna, and that conversation, and then Agnes and Connor, you heading back up to Thousand Oaks to deal with Miss Castillo, or are you going elsewhere?
I mean, I was going to drop Agnes off unless she wants to come, but I think that I was supposed to do it on my own. Like, wasn't it supposed to keep it on the DL?
Yeah, I was supposed to secrets and all that.
Yeah.
The party is officially split, y'all. This is gonna go so well.
Happens all the time.
It's like instead of one big boom, it's just fireworks when we split.
I mean, it has been a while since Agnes has been to work.
Oh Lord.
Have a job.
So,
you know what? It's only been a couple of days.
That's true. Couple of days, a murder, a mom showing up, and plus your sister's staying up at Cobble Hill anyways. There's no one to go home to.
True.
Oh, it's fine.
But you can definitely go home. I mean, there's some interesting things happening there too. There's don't worry, I got things for all over the city to just throw at you.
Yeah, when the GM says don't worry, that's exactly what you do.
Man.
Legitimately, I'm getting that printed for like every DM I encounter. What was that for? Don't worry about
it. Wherever you go, you will be making rolls. We'll just say that.
Awesome. If I have the option to do the stupid thing, guess what I'm doing?
Oh yeah. Well, now you get another power tag, which is super exciting.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing what that is. Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream here. Thank you to everyone out there that's been watching. We will be back again every Monday doing City of Mist. We should be back tomorrow with some Rogue Trader, so feel free to come back then. You can also find us on YouTube, Crits and Die, if you would like to get a recap of the last couple sessions. All of our stuff is going to be recorded there. So this is Mr. JP Stilts. I am very happy to have the opportunity to run these awesome games. So, and that all comes to you three, all of the players here. So thank you all for sticking it out tonight. And we will see you all next week. Take care of yourselves, be well, be safe, and have a great night. Goodbye.